Hey guys, Jerry here, and welcome back to GregTech. It has been a while since I last recorded, mainly because, well, I did actually do quite a bit last time, so a bit of stuff has also happened on the world because of this intermittent time difference. One of which, as you've seen here behind me in the start, is a new fountain. This fountain is, like, I had this little bit of space here and I wanted to use it for something, but it wasn't really big enough for anything practical, so I decided to make something beautiful instead. And again, I kind of like the shape of it. It's sort of reaching to the sky. It has these nice little stone lamps from Railcraft, bunch of double stone slabs here, and yeah, I like it. And I'm also decided to pull through with something I mentioned back when I did the whole GregTech prologue thing where I built this house over here, that I would consider naming houses and builds after people, and the first one is this fountain here, which is dedicated to J7 and Dominica for his support and engagement. Now, this guy, he comments on pretty much every single video, and it's always nice to read, always nice to know that at least someone out there is enjoying my content and making it obvious to me that he is. So for all of your continued support and your engagement and your just generally being a good viewer, I've made you a monument here. So yeah, I hope you enjoy that. The next thing, I know I'm skipping past this a bit quickly, but yeah, well, you can pause the video if you want to see it more. I have one more building that I've named, and it is this greenhouse over here. This is a new structure as well, because I want to get started on the industrial craft crop planting. So I made a little indoor greenhouse here to do that in. And I've named this one after Nicolas Pate, who also comments on a lot of different videos, but more to the point, he actually gives some good advice once in a while. He was the one who mentioned I could blow up the spawner, the silverfish spawner at my end portal, so like that alone is worth some sort of dedication. So this is the Nicolas Pate greenhouse, and in here we have a field with some water in for hydration. Got a stone lamps, we've got these amber bricks in the ceiling just for, you know, a bit of deco. And I've moved a book and quill out here to kind of, if I want to keep a logbook of whatever I plant here and try to, you know, make some sort of system to how I crossbreed plants. And I have the crop dictionary, which tells me about the different plants you can obtain. Doesn't tell how to obtain them, but it tells about them. In this chest here, got a bunch of sticks. And over here I have a bunch of different crops. Like, these are all the vanilla crops that you can crossbreed with. So I'm hoping that I can figure out some good recipes and actually, you know, get some of these crops listed in the dictionary here. So if we skip past a bit of this, you can see sticky reed. You can make rubber from the sticky reed, which is kind of useful, rather than having to cut down trees. Terra wort looks like edible milk, cures poisons. Red wheat, redstone dust. You can grow redstone dust. Trollweed, iron. Copper, cotton candy, cotton copper, tin, lead, silver, gold, oil berries. Now these ones are very, very interesting, oil berries. I kind of want to achieve those. Bob's your uncle ranks. Bob's your uncle ranks. Because Bob's your uncle drops emeralds and emerald dust. Like, a lot of these stuff, they are, I don't know exactly how to obtain them, but I want to obtain them all if I can. So that's the point of this whole structure here. I've also thought eventually about adding, like, replacing this gravel with glass and then having like several layers underneath, so it's like a proper hydroponics garden. Would be pretty cool. But for now at least we just have this little field here. So I'm gonna get started right now on this. So there is these things called crop sticks, which you make like this. And you can put these on the ground, either just once, like this, or you can put them twice, in which case they allow for crossbreeding between the two plants that they're connected to. So if I take, for instance, let's take a wheat and a coffee bean, cocoa bean, and put the wheat, I need a wheat seed, Jerry, I need a seed. seed and cocoa bean. No? Do I need something special for this? Or like the reason I have this is that it was listed in the the book of all the default crops, but it might just be that they just don't combine here. Well, let's try and mix the wheat with a carrot then. And then here next to it we can try a potato. That's not a potato, that's a potato. So carrots and potatoes over here and wheat here. And they're set to crossbreed on these little things here. And then if they do decide to end up crossbreeding, some new plant will pop up here and we can then harvest it. So can I fertilize this stuff? No, I can't. At least not with fertilizer. But there is a number of different things in InventoryTweaks dedicated to this system. So let's see what we can find here. I know for a fact there is something called the Weed X, which is something that I'm gonna need to generate a bunch of. Basically what it is, it's a weed killer. Not a wheat killer, but a weed killer. And you need this stuff in order to, Weed X there, to get rid of the weeds that grow on your crossbreeding sticks. Like, you need to keep sort of an eye on all of this stuff. If you don't, you'll end up with the weeds and they'll take over the entire thing. You can also make hops, which, you know, make beer. You can get coffee beans, so I really want to get some coffee. I live off coffee, like that's, I am trying to replace the blood in my veins with coffee, pretty much, and I think I've pretty much succeeded. Like, whenever I don't have coffee for a while, I get I really get withdrawal symptoms, so I'm quite addicted, and I want it in my game as well. But yeah, Weed X. Apparently you can get it from redstone, or you can toss green powder into an empty spray can, and green powder is made from macerating poisonous stuff. So spider eyes and poisoned potatoes, of which I don't have that much. I think I might have some spider eyes somewhere. We can try and see if we can make some green powder. So let's see, spider eyes, anything in here? Yeah, 19 of them. Let's take 16, that's a good number. Toss those in the macerator, and then we'll try and make a spray can as well. But yeah, the fountain here is kind of central, so it's going to be like in pretty much every single episode, because I always run past that spot. So the greenhouse is a bit more out of the way, so even though it's bigger, it's more out of the way. So I don't know. You guys will have to decide which one has the bigger structure. It's not really any concern of mine, to be honest. So I got a bunch of uranium here. I have some plutonium in here, so we can make more fuel rods should we need to. I have these spent fuel rods here, which the only way you can really recycle them, as far as I can tell, is by tossing them into the thermal centrifuge and then getting plutonium out of them and a bit of iron dust. You lose all the uranium pretty much, but you get the plutonium back, which means that eventually, like, all my uranium will be turned into plutonium, which means I can use the pellets, the what's called radioactive isotope generator. It's somewhere on this list. Radioisotope thermoelectric generator, yeah, and it has 5 slots. So if you can make 5 pellets, you get the 16 EU per tick. So that's the way that works. Anyway, I need to make a spray can, so let's see, that's a full spray can. Is there an empty spray can recipe somewhere in here? I sure would hope so. Let's see. Empty spray can, an empty cell, and a redstone. Alright. So, empty cell. Grab one of these, or a bit of these. I'll just make one can, it's fine. So let's see here. Assembling machine, redstone, there. And that shouldn't take too long. Do we have anything else in these machines? I have some electrum here that I made. Basically, I've been trying to, like, since I spent a lot of resources upgrading the MFE and derping hard, by the way, trying to place it. It was really painful to edit that, which is why I felt like I had to do the whole pointed out thing. But I spent a lot of resources doing that, so I need to kind of remake all my circuits and such. So that's an ongoing process. Anyway, let us see. I have an empty spray can here, and if we then empty the canning machine here, toss that in there, and we take some of this green powder that we have now made. We should be able to toss it in here, and it'll fill the spray can. Now, I don't know how long a spray can lasts. It might just be one shot, it might be a couple of shots. I'm hoping it's a couple of shots, not just one, because that would kind of suck. But we'll see. Let's see here. Is there anything else I need to point out or mention? Oh yeah, I moved all my ores in here. About damn time. So I have them all in here next to where the processing actually takes place. And moved my electric engine back here to make more gravel. Don't know why. I just do. I just do things. There we are. With the thing should be ready over here now. I picked it up already, didn't I? No, it's this machine. Oh yeah, wheat eggs. Alright. Back to the greenhouse. Let's see what's, if anything's happened. Probably nothing so far, but then again, if my experience serves me correctly, it actually tends to go rather fast. Yeah, we have something here. I don't know if it's weed or it actually is a crossbred plant. I really don't know. I think it might be wheat eggs actually, yeah. So let's crossbreed them again, put some wheat eggs on it to prevent that stuff. And then I think we're actually gonna plant a row of this exactly the same stuff here, so like this, wheat eggs on these two to kind of keep the weeds down, and then I need one of these, and one of these. So seeds on the very side, carrot in the middle, and tater over here. Why can I not put down a potato here? Is it too dark? I guess it is. Alright, so I need more light in here. That's a given. Yeah, the seed over here already died as well. So I probably will have to replace the floor with something like some glowstone or something to get a bit more light in here. Like, it is mob spawning free, but apparently it's not crop growing friendly just yet. Did I spray these two? I'll just give them a bit more. And let's see, what other things could we try and mix here? I want to try and mix some sugarcane, but something that could potentially make them sticky. I don't know exactly what that would be. But, how about sugarcane and melons? Melons are kind of sticky. So let's... Do you want to leave a space, or... Let's put them all the way over here. So, 1, 1, 1, 2, 1. So if we put some sugarcane here, and we put the melons in the middle, then we get 2 chances of the same thing. And if I then take my wheat eggs here again, just to kind of keep these guys under control. I think we're gonna just do this for now. I kind of want to see some produce of this before I delve too deep into it. Like the last time I played with this, it was immensely buggy, but I also think it might have been because I didn't know to use the wheat eggs preemptively. So we'll see if that works. There is a machine that can do all the stuff for us. There's actually 2 of them. It should actually be listed here in this list we have open here. It's called one of them is called the Crop-matron, or matron. I don't know if it's in the... There we go, Crop-matron. And I think there's also a harvester. Let's just quickly search for that. Yeah, there's a harvester here, crop harvester. So this one will harvest all the crop sticks, and as you can see, it needs electron plates, electron item clearer, steel hull, diamond saw blade. We can do all this. Electric atom clearer is just a small electric buff teleporter. Okay, that's a bit more advanced. I need some advanced circuits and such. A lot of machines actually seem to need a teleporter for some reason. I'm not quite sure why. And the matron here. Crop sticks, basic machine casings, and this one basically applies weed eggs and fertilizer stuff. Does GregTech or does InventoryTweaks actually have some fertilizer? Yes, it does. This stuff. So sulfur and calcite in a chemical reactor, like a lot of different stuff actually in a chemical reactor. Sulfur dust in general is one of the big ones that we also have a lot of. So I'm wondering if we should actually make some of this fertilizer. Let's try that. We have so much sulfur that it shouldn't be a problem. Let's see, a stack of sulfur, and then if we click uses here, we can see in the chemical reactor, calcite makes 2, calcium dust makes 3, apatite dust, ooh, that's easy enough to get. Glauconite dust, that's not so easy to get. Apatite dust might be a good choice for us. Do we have any apatite in here? Or did I leave it all? I left it all somewhere else. I actually don't think I have that much apatite. Like, it's something I've not been mining specifically. It's pretty good as a bone meal replacement. But, like with you make the fertilizer here, which is the forestry fertilizer, the blue stuff. See, if we look over here, I think I should still have some left, yeah. So if we take like 4 of these and macerate. Is there any good way to macerate it, or... Nope. It's just a matter of tossing it in there and you get 1 dust each. But this should allow us to make some industrial craft fertilizer. We also have a lot of extra green powder. I'm just going to leave that in here. Eventually I'm gonna like make a bunch of canning machines and such, so we can just have a canning machine over in the greenhouse doing all the with green powder in, so we can just refill our spray can whenever we need to. So let's see, chemical reactor. If we take out the hydrogen, toss in one of these. Toss in one of these. It uses a bunch of power. I also disconnected the electric engines in here from the thing here, because I discovered that they can actually use any sort of... they can connect to any power intensity, so I just took them up to the big power instead. I had an issue with the chemical reactor here running out of power if any other machines were running, so... How long are you with the last one? Let's just wait for that. While we wait for this, there's one more thing I can show you guys, and that is these things. These are beeswax candles, made in a carpenter. As you can see here, beeswax, string, some water, and some power. And they are initially turned off, but if you have a flint and steel, you can then right-click them and you'll turn them on. And they basically, they just kind of look like a reskin torch, but you can right-click them to snuff them out if you want to. I don't know exactly how useful that is, but it is possible. I think we've also seen some of them in like villages that we visited, so that's that. Armor here fully charged. Got a bit of some steel pants there. I don't know why this stuff is spread across 2 different, and I don't know where my helmet's gone. I lost the helmet some time ago and I haven't replaced it yet. Anyway, 6 fertilizer, that should be enough for some of the crops. So let's have a look and see exactly how it works. The fertilizer here seems rather expensive, but then again, depending on how useful it is. Let's try and see, that one is fertilized, this one's fertilized, and let's do these 3 as well. No immediate effect, which is kind of what you would expect. Like, plants don't really grow the way that bone meal promises to make them, dude. That's sort of unrealistic, but yeah, we'll see. Like that's sort of a side project along with the bees that you can come back to. Speaking of bees, I need to check on those actually, because I have been trying, or I was trying to make a cultivated drone here, but I ended up randomly making an Eldritch princess. So I've been, like, I need to analyze her quickly and see how clean she is. Eldritch mystical hybrid. And this drone here is the same, but I'm hoping that potentially we could mutate them into becoming purebred. Eldritch could be quite fun to have. I've also been making common princesses. Now I've also discovered what the ignoble thing means, and basically it means that it'll die after some time apparently. So you want to get you don't want to use the ignoble ones to try and make precious. You just want to use them to breed as many drones as you can, apparently. So yeah, I have this sorceress princess here that I've been, like, she's been living through maybe 10 lives, or her line has been living through 10 lives now, and she has been producing a bunch of stuff, but she hasn't really, like, she hasn't died off yet, which is kind of interesting. I probably should use the, like, ignoble stock over here in these beet houses, because they're not meant for breeding, they're just meant for trying to get the trees crossbred, and since I already have these trees crossbred, I should actually cut them down and replace them with something else. But that's gonna be for another time, because I'm losing my voice and my mind is wandering off here. So let's have a final look inside the Necklace Pate greenhouse here and see. This one here is going nicely. It's actually fully grown, so we can harvest it. Like, that's a pretty nice way to have sugarcane here. Just right click on it rather than having to you know, punch them down and pick them up because they fall in the water and such. So I could get used to this at least. And especially if we, like, have a crop matron, and we end up breeding some really good crops here. Like this one gave 6. If we manage to crossbreed some of these so they give a lot of stuff, and we have a crop matron and a harvester just set up automatically harvesting it all, we could have automatic farms before too long. And that would be quite interesting. But that's in the future again. So until then, I'm Jerry, and this has been GregTech. Bye.